And our city attorney. Damn it. Roll call was just taken. The meeting was called to order at 7:01. Roll call was taken. All common council members are present, as are our city planner, our director of neighborhood services, the city attorney, and myself. Item B, there is no opening prayer this evening. Item C is the Pledge of Allegiance.
There was an opening prayer
Oh,
here.
yeah, Chief could do it, yeah.
Oh, you're going to do it?
Excellent.
Oh, I didn't know you were going to do it.
All right. Heavenly Father, we come before you tonight, and we just want to thank you for our city leaders and their dedication and service to our community. Tonight, we ask that you give them wisdom and guidance on the decisions that are before them. We ask that you bless them through unity as they work together to make Greenfield a prosperous community. We ask all this in your name. Amen.
And item C is the Pledge of Allegiance. If you'd please join me while we recite the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I apologize for not dressing up this evening, but it's really cold out there.
Okay, Fetterman.
Huh? I don't know. Alderperson Bailey's always so sharply dressed, as is Alderperson Sarah.
He said you look like Senator Fetterman.
I'm not wearing shorts, though. All right. Item D, I'd entertain a motion to approve the January 7th Common Council minutes.
Make a motion to approve those minutes.
Motion by Alderperson Bailey. Is there a second?
Second.
By Alderperson Sarian. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Don't have a mayor's report this evening. Does anybody want to, under mayor's or aldermanic report, go through anything?
It's cold out there.
It's really cold out there.
No, they're going to skate this weekend.
Hmm?
They're skating this weekend.
Well, it's supposed to get up to like 35 this weekend, isn't it?
Yeah.
The
Nice.
hockey thing is this weekend, isn't it?
Yeah, the Conkle Cup is this weekend at Conkle Park, the hockey tournament that we have, the eight yeah.
A
That's,
few of us went to a ribbon cutting the other day.
we went to Crunch Fitness on 27th Street to a ribbon cutting there, where the old Experience Fitness was really well attended. Found a really cool tattoo guy. Well, it's hard to find a tattoo person that can actually do like photographic images, you know. A lot of it's more traditional.
Yeah, the recording.
I think I have the recording on, don't I? Yeah, it's recording.
Okay, good.
Yep,
Thank you.
I'm not going to drop the name of the tattoo place, though, because I don't want to. This is on YouTube, and it broadcasts to potentially 8 billion people. So please be
Of
on your
which
best
2.5
behavior.
watch.
Hmm?
Of which maybe 2.5 people watch.
And it gets up to 11 or 12 sometimes. All right, any announcements from anybody? Citizen commentary. Is there anybody here that wants to speak other than for an item that's on the agenda? No. Public hearings. The first one is I-1, a public hearing on a special use permit for the expansion of Mega Laundromat and existing laundromat to be located at 4101 West Howard Avenue, submitted by Kabir Ahmed, doing business as ND Ventures LLC, and Donald Kurkowski, the architects and planners. This is to approve a resolution for a special use permit, as well as approve the site landscaping and architectural plans. Gina?
So Mega Laundromat is currently located in a portion of this building. The applicant is intending to expand into the area that was previously used by the tanning salon, so they're going to occupy just a greater proportion of the building overall. In total, this expansion will result in 3,400 square feet being used for the laundromat. They will have one part-time employee. They will also be converting the former hair salon, which was the lower portion of the building on the east side, into residential living area. The hours of operation proposed was 24 hours. The applicant and Plan Commission agreed on the hours of operation being 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. daily. Parking requirement 39. For the whole building, only 10 are provided. Common Council may waive that shortage. I have notes on the site review on my next slide. Plan Commission recommended approval at the December 11th meeting. I've received 2 letters of objection. To date, no letters of support have been received. As far as the site plan as well as the review, there's quite a bit of things that need to be done on the site. The applicant has submitted updated plans, but just some things to note. The building, the masonry part of the building is going to be power washed, and it's going to be painted to match the tan color of the siding. The electrical boxes are going to be downsized where appropriate and are going to look much neater overall. The doors are going to be replaced. The two in the front are going to be replaced so that they matched one another. The new door being added on the back of the building will match the other existing door on the back of the building. All electrical wiring is going to be updated per code. The wall sconces are going to be updated. The wood trim is going to be replaced as needed and painted a color to match throughout. The dumpster is going to be put within an enclosure. They have submitted plans for this. Engineering and the applicant and myself met to talk about gutters on the property and how to successfully deal with water coming off the building while also ensuring that we're not creating icing solutions. Engineering and myself are happy with the solution that we reached, so that way they are able to provide a safe property for individuals who will be residing on the property, as well as going to the property for the laundromat as well. Oop. I think that's all I had to say.
Okay, so this is a public hearing. Anybody that wants to register to speak for, against, or informational purposes concerning this item, can we get those blue sheets down there? So I talked to a couple of you before the meeting started, and it wasn't clear if you were for or against it, but you had some questions. If you're against it, certainly, or for it, you can write that down too. They're the blue ones, I think. Since I know that you submitted one and I don't know your name, if you could go to the microphone, I'll sort the things when we, if you could state your full name and your address, that'd be great.
Absolutely. I'm Jim Heller. My address is 4033 West Stonebridge Court, across the street in Milwaukee, across from the property in question here, 53221. And I am here both as a homeowner that this property, any changes could potentially impact, but also as the president of the Cherokee Point Homeowners Association. And before I even get into anything, I wanted to thank everybody for coming out tonight. I did get a chuckle. I spoke to Gina this morning, and when I called, it was to find out if this meeting was going to go on. And she kind of made me feel bad of, well, of course it's going to go on. We don't cancel for anything. And it kind of just made me feel, yeah, well, a little bit more.
Kind of wish it was canceled.
No, kind of like I can't believe how weak I've become in my older age to be being held hostage by the elements. So thank you all very much for having the meeting as scheduled and for coming out tonight. So I appreciate that. If you would like, I'll just launch it. Initially, prior to my conversation this morning with, what is it pronounced, Vlock? Okay, and if I butchered that, I apologize, but I spoke to Gina this morning, and she did answer several of my questions and concerns. Initially, the Homeowners Association, hopefully you've all received a letter that we had written sort of in response to the initial proposal, which has now been altered. And one of our, at the time, it was objecting to the changes going on primarily because one of the proposed changes was to be a 24-hour-a-day business, and that raised lots of concerns for myself as a homeowner, but also representing the HOA. As I've been told and as I can see on the overhead there, that's been amended to just expand the hours slightly from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. I certainly appreciate that. That does add, take me into the, I want to voice concerns, but now personally can't say that I'm objecting as forcefully as I was before. So it's more of a informational thing just to state some of our concerns, and maybe they could be taken into consideration both by the commission here, but also by the property owner, just to try to alleviate any, I'll say, foreseeable problems. One of which is whether this establishment is open for 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours a day. The lack of on-site staffing is a concern to, I believe, the entire residential community across the street in Cherokee Point. Reason being, whether or not, and I'm not fully informed about what security measures might be in there, whether it's cameras or some other type of monitoring. Part-time staffing of any business, certainly when you're adjacent to a more urban setting like Milwaukee, which I live in, I'll say invites the possibility of issues. There's a county park right adjacent to this property. They even limit the hours of access to some of their, not just their buildings, but restroom facilities, things like that. And that's done for, I think, a definite purpose, which is avoiding people coming into a unstaffed property and using it for purposes that it's not intended. I am a customer of this establishment. My wife and I are frequently using the washers and dryers at this establishment. We love having it being close by, but that is one of our concerns, is that there isn't somebody always on site. And I realize that, and I say this with great admiration, I'm a retired firefighter for the city of Milwaukee, so I have lots of, kind of comes hand in hand. I have lots of friends that are police officers, and every one of them, to a person, speaks incredibly highly about the city of Greenfield's police department. But I don't believe it's their role to be the first line of security, that somebody may be monitoring a camera, or it's required that somebody's phoning in a call, and then it falls on the police department to enforce any issues or problems that might be going on site. So as a homeowner, and certainly as an HOA representative, I would love to see a much higher degree, if not full-time staffing during operating hours, of somebody that could report problems, or just by being there, eliminate the potential for problems of people loitering, sheltering, whatever it might be. But I think, to use one of my phrases that I use almost daily because it's so applicable, is when they're predictable, they're preventable. And I see potential for issues with on-site staffing at all operating hours, and that's a big one. Another concern we have, it's not something that I would have said adamantly against, but it is a concern, is the number of parking spaces that are currently off-street available at this property. There's roughly, I believe, 10 spots. With the new residential construction, once approved, there's going to be 2 residential units. I think it's safe to say, with the number of bedrooms, that there could be on-site, just for the residences, 3 spots taken of the 10, leaving only 7 for people using the laundromat. When there's not spots available, that's going to obviously translate to off-street parking. Howard Avenue is not some country lane where there's just the occasional car. There's, I think, speaking to any law enforcement, whether it's Milwaukee or Greenfield, they'd agree that it's a street that is known for high speed, for reckless driving incidents, and I'm concerned that adding people parking because there aren't available spots at the laundromat might just add to the, I'll say, become more of a safety concern. So the parking spots is also definitely a concern of mine. And lastly, I should have brought this in, but I'm going to segue back to it with the on-site staffing. in the letter that we did write, there was a reference to a news article that, ironically, in the last few weeks, where a couple at a laundromat that was not staffed was arrested for indecent acts, right? Right in that laundromat in Waukesha. It wasn't Milwaukee, it wasn't Greenfield, but it was, I think, a community that's similar in the, I'll say the quaintness and the way that Greenfield is looked at. It's not, and that's meant in the best way possible, but things like that happen when there are establishments, businesses that are operating that don't have on-site staffing. There's a few other things. I'm not going to belabor that because I think based on what I've heard and in my conversation with Gina, I think you've taken into account a lot of this, but I am interested in hearing if there are going to be other security measures put in place if there isn't on-site staffing, and maybe what the, what this commission feels is appropriate, certainly dealing with numbers of businesses, whether it's laundromats or anything else. I wouldn't even hazard a guess or try to insert my feelings about it, because you have certainly a lot more knowledge, information, and experience about it. But I do believe it's a concern for people that are in the area, whether they're City of Greenfield or City of Milwaukee. So I thank you very much. I'm
Quick
sorry?
question for you, is anybody working there now when you go over there?
Not that I have seen. I should ask my wife if you
I
were.
was just there a few days ago, and there wasn't anyone there. And I'm hoping that the remodeling will make the,
I can't hear.
oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm hoping that the remodeling will make the inside nicer and the outside nicer. We've been in our subdivision for over 20-some years, and the laundromat has deteriorated. The inside also. And it was very evident when I walked in there a couple days ago we wash rugs or blankets in there. We enjoy having it, but there's also something to be said about keeping it up to a standard and having pride in property. I believe that everyone should make some sort, I understand
Yeah,
this.
and we can, so you can come to the mic too if you.
Oh,
would
no.
rather.
Fine.
I knew that was going to get her.
Yeah.
I should
I'm
just
not
try
trying
that
to-
at
I'm
home.
not
Yeah,
trying
just
to-
come on up to the
I'm not trying
microphone.
No, that's fine. No, thank you.
Thank
So
you.
maybe once we go through some of these questions and concerns and comments, we can have the owner. I think it's probably in his interest to make sure he's making a substantial investment in the business, to maybe address some of the security concerns and some of the other things that you brought up, okay?
Yeah, absolutely. And, in closing, I just want to say I'm in favor of the owner making, aesthetic improvements, safety improvements, all that. And I certainly welcome any business to do better and become more profitable, but not at the expense of some other aspects, whether it's safety or the other concerns. So, did anyone have any other questions for me?
So you just get to, no, I'm not even supposed to ask you questions.
Oh, well,
They did.
okay. Thank you all very, very
So we're
much.
clear, I did get an email, and I think this is from your board, Jim Heller, Chris Kling,
Yep.
Dan Buckman, Elise
Michelle.
Moschella, and Earl Williams. And it was by email from Elise on January 13th at 9 in the morning. And it pretty much hit your topics. The letter that you provided will be placed in the record too. You pretty much hit it on pretty well.
Okay, thank you. Thank you all very much, and stay warm.
Then I have Earl Williams speaking for information only, and then I'll get into.
Oh,
You got it covered?
yeah, no, thank you.
All right, then I have the following people that registered against but are not speaking. Elise Moschella, 3751 South Cherokee Way.
And that's not really against, it's just against the things that were in the letter.
Okay, so I have,
Not against the
I have Janice, Deb, Dan, and Hanit. Is that right?
Yeah.
So do you all sort of agree with what he said? So you're not necessarily against it? You just want to make sure that the concerns that were addressed in that you so eloquently stated with.
Can I make note that my wife agrees with me, because there may be.
So
no
just
one
while
in
you were
town.
talking, she was nodding her head like, way to go, hon. You said it exactly the way we wanted it. So is there anyone else that would like to speak?
There was
for-
there was another email we received.
There's a couple more emails that I'm gonna get to.
Okay. I just didn't want you closing the hearing.
I'm not gonna close.
Oh, you
He's-
never know you.
So there's the owner of the property back there.
I know.
So we're gonna have him discuss maybe some of the security issues that he was talking about, what he's doing, why he's doing it, the investment that he's making in the property, right?
Not make it a brothel?
You're not gonna make it
It's not allowed in Wisconsin.
up. That's only the upstairs unit.
Oh, what goes on in someone's
No,
bedroom
it's
is.
not. So I also, let's see. Thank you, Alderperson Akers, for reminding me of the other two emails that I received. Where did they go? There they are. Michelle Herrer. I received the proposal summary for the property located 4101 West Howard. Was Michelle one of the people here?
She said she couldn't make it.
I'm unable to make the public hearing for Tuesday, January 21st at 7 p.m. I don't have any real reservations about the expansion of the interior of the property located at the above listed location. My only concern would be whether there would be enough parking for expansion. Right now, there seems to be an issue with the way the angle parking is set up, whether it is how people are parking or the amount of parking spaces. There does seem to be enough street parking, however, my house is located directly south of the laundromat, and people seem to park in my driveway to go into the laundromat. People have also parked on the street, completely blocking my driveway to go to the laundromat. I've had multiple instances where I had to pull out of my garage at an angle so they could get out of my driveway. I've called the police a few times, but I don't want to bother them with these petty things. There is a small curb between the laundromat and my driveway that is not big enough for a car to use as a street parking space, and someone usually does. When someone parks there, it more often than not involves them blocking my driveway. Can the city place no parking sign on that small curb so no one can park there and continue to block my driveway? Perhaps that can solve some of the issue, and we should write that down if we haven't. Finally, someone parked in the laundromat parking lot and hit my fence. I did not call the police, nor did I address it with the owner of the laundromat. I have maybe seen the owner once or twice, so I would have no idea who the owner is or what hours they would work. I also don't know when this happened. I just noticed it one night when I came home from work. So I couldn't pinpoint the day or hours that it happened in order to make the report. See photos, and she sent photographs of the bottom of the fence that has some broken boards. So those are the only two that I got. That from the board and from that person. Those are the only two that I. So if there's another one, okay.
I don't know of another one. I just knew of this one.
Okay. So we have Kadir Ahmed here, who is the owner of the property and who's making the investment in the property. Did you want to address the security issues?
Sure. So I think the two main reasons that you guys have, concerns that you guys have brought here are the security.
So you don't have, you can just
Okay.
talk to us and they'll listen to you.
Okay. So the two biggest things that we have mentioned today is the security concerns, having an attendant at the laundromat throughout the hours that it's open. That's one thing. And the other is the parking. So this whole project actually started with the perspective that we were having issues with the parking initially on Saturdays and Sundays when we actually had the hair salon on the one side of the building, and they were taking all the parking spots in the front, and they were also taking the parking spots in the laundromat. So we decided that, it's, parking is an issue, so that's why we said, we probably wanted to expand the laundromat on this side, because eventually somebody was gonna come here and rent this side of the area, and you cannot have 3 businesses and 1 apartment in that property. There's just not enough parking for all that. So the plan came out of all of this was to expand the laundromat and make it into only 1 business and 2 apartments, because, we don't have that much, we don't need that much space to have the laundromat that big in that area. So that's what all started all this, is to expand the laundromat from the back to the front. That way Hair Salon or any other tenant in that area, we don't have to worry about it. And Hair Salon was creating some parking issues for us, and that's why we are doing what we're doing now. So that's one point on the parking. As for the, attendant or not, right now, we have a crew that comes in and cleans the laundromat every night from, I think it's 2 hours or 3 hours or something like that. And I think one lady comes in, checks on it in the afternoon, and then she comes in and does the cleaning. And I'm sure you guys probably have seen that cleaning lady there. And she does from 6 to 7 or 6 to 8 or something like that. So 3 hours a day is what she's there for. And then I have another guy that comes in, he only checks on it in the afternoon and he just leaves. He takes care of some other laundromats as well. So that's how we've been kind of keeping it attendant. As for, keeping it fully attendant, that's a business decision. The business has to be there in order for it to support it long-term. If we expand the laundromat and if there's enough business, we'll gladly put it into a full-time attendant. But at this point right now, there's not enough business to support that. As for the security, we never had any issues with police in that area. We had one alcoholic guy in the parking lot, I think in the summertime, and the lady that was cleaning it called the cops, and the police came in and took care of that drunken guy in the parking lot. I don't recall any issues in that location ever. So I'm not, at this point, before when I took over, there were no cameras. We have fully cameras in the front and the back, and there's a number in that laundromat that says that if you have any issues, you can call that number. We don't have any security issues or concerns that we know of, but we have cameras in place. Mike is the guy that kind of lives pretty close to this laundromat. He could be there within 10 minutes. That's kind of how we've been doing it. Our business model at this point right now with what it is, it's not supporting to have a full-time employee there from 6 to 10. And going back to that email about that parking, I would like to know what she's talking about, that area. All this was approved by the city of Greenfield for all these parking spots, I think last summer. I think that's how it was approved last summer, and I don't know what issue she's talking about, that parking.
Our esteemed city attorney is on Google Maps, looking at the space between your driveway going into the laundromat off of, not Howard, South 41st Street, and it looks like it's a 4 or 5 foot section of curb with a utility pole next to it.
Okay.
I think she's talking about that spot.
Okay.
And that area could certainly be signed by the city, I would think.
How many security cameras do you have? Are they in working order?
They're all in working order.
Yeah,
There's
2?
No, there's at least 8. I don't remember the exact number, but it's got to be 8 plus.
Can I ask a question about the fencing?
Yeah.
Why is the residents, neighbor next to this having the fence and not the business responsible? Because aren't our businesses supposed to have some kind of barrier between residential and themselves?
I mean, so I'm a little older than you, not much,
A lot older, you know that.
like 2 years, I think.
You're a lot older.
Maybe 2 years?
No, it's more than 2.
Not much more.
It's more than 2.
There's no reason to bicker about age.
Well, there is, but, because never mind. So, this laundromat and this building and this business has been here as long as I've been around. Alderperson Bailey's younger than I am, but I think he probably,
Remember that, yes.
remembers it looking almost exactly the same. This was one of those areas when the city incorporated as a city in the late 50s. This building was here then. The hodgepodge borders around the area.
I'm just saying now is
This
kind
is
of
a
our time
neighborhood
to
that's been
address
impacted.
these things.
It's
I
been a
would-
neighborhood impacted by that, right? So generally speaking, if this was a new business going in, it would be the responsibility of the commercial property to put a fence with the good side facing outward, adjacent to any residential property. This property, though, has been here for going on, I just turned 40,
A long time.
or 60 or something. And this property's been like this as long as I can remember. And by the looks of that fence, this probably predated a lot of the codes and a lot of the, this property would never be built the way that it is now, which creates all sorts of issues when it comes to parking and when it comes to all sorts of things. I mean, generally, just having living space in a commercial property is something that modern codes generally don't allow too much of. So when I look at that fence, you're right. If this was a brand-new property, there was no existing fence in place, he'd be responsible for putting up a fence so that the boards face the other way, right? So the good side is towards the residential property, but since it's an existing fence and one that's on an adjacent property, I think, that's not your fence, from what I can tell. Although it's probably right on the property line. There's
Isn't
not-
isn't their garage actually comes out a little bit and there's space, that space belongs to them? That fence that facing the parking, I don't think that is ours.
It's not, I think it's theirs. So I think what you're trying to get at is why doesn't he fix the fence?
Because,
Because it's not his.
well, I'm saying if they don't want to fix it, even though it was damaged by someone probably on that side, when they have to put up, I would think it would be better if they just put up their own fence and,
So if you look there, though, I mean, so we kind of went through this, I think, at the staff level. If you look at where that fence is located, there isn't a place to put it.
And we have an issue with the utility easement from We Energies on top of it, which is going to make it even more complicated.
Kind of, right? So if he was a good neighbor, there are some pictures that show two wooden boards that are broken on the fence.
I know her and I'll fix that fence.
Yeah, and it doesn't, I don't know how it got hit, because by looking at the picture, it's not like somebody could just hit it, so I'm not sure what happened, but if you're a good neighbor, you'd replace the two pieces of fence that are broken on the bottom.
Sure. You can do that.
Okay. Does anybody else have any questions for, but you have to come up to the microphone and you have to identify yourself.
I do have a couple of questions.
Okay.
I'm Anife Veshi Heller, and...
So you have to say your name.
Yes, Anife Veshi Heller, and I've been living in Cherokee Point for about 23 years or so. I have a couple questions for the owner, wondering how long he's owned the property?
We bought it in 23.
23. Okay, so it hasn't really been that long. You just bought it. Okay. For initially when I was using it, it was kept up very nicely. There were TV screens on there. The ceiling tiles weren't leaking. And since you've just bought this, I'm sure, and you're going to be remodeling it, I am hoping that you're not going to just expand, but you're going to also remodel everything that's there. Because when you first walk into it, you see things that are duct taped and signs that are put there, and it's not what I remember it like being. And I think we all have this. You know, you remember what it was like when something is first built, and then as time goes on, there's not the same kind of pride that an owner should have, or any kind of owner. So as I had said, it looked like the TV screens were stolen or maybe broken, so then there's just empty brackets, and it's getting very run down. So I am hoping that this gentleman will take care of the things that are there and make it look nicer and replace some of the things that are starting to fall apart, as he also does the remodeling. I'm not sure how long the owner before him had this. I think it was a short period of time. I don't know if you could find that out. But then there was another owner before that I'm just hoping that we all take our, I'm sorry?
That you get a good owner this time?
Yes, yes, that's perfect. We live across the street, there's 77 houses there. The board, part of the board is here and works very hard at trying to maintain and keep the standards up because there is an association. And it's not easy having 77 people that you're trying to tell them that when they first move in, they love what they're moving into, but then trying to have them keep it up. With that said, sometimes we step out of our subdivision and then we see things that aren't kept up to standards. So, and then that just starts to go downhill. You know, all of a sudden you look and you're thinking, no one's taking care of this. So I'm hoping that you will. I'm hoping you're going to invest not only outside but inside. And is there someone living upstairs?
There's an apartment on the upside, yes.
Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah, someone from Greenfield had said at one time it was a candy store down there. They had a candy store, it was an apartment up there, and then so you're going to be living on the other side. You're going to be living there, you're making another apartment?
The plan is to make the apartment underneath the apartment. So it used to be a duplex one side, and then the commercial residential laundromat on this side. And we're trying to do this into a duplex on this side, lower it on this side, and then expand the laundromat.
Okay, so doing like an up and down type of
Yep,
thing?
up and down, and then one laundromat, as in having 3 businesses and 1 apartment right now.
All right. Well, I hope you can bring it up to the standards that it was way before you bought it, the way I remember it. And it's just, it's such a nice neighborhood. And Greenfield works very hard at trying to maintain that pride. And I think our association does such a nice job trying to take care of everything. And, you know, we welcome you because we like the laundromat, you know, but we also would like it to look nice. All right, okay. That's
You
it.
should really run for mayor, seriously.
He lives in Milwaukee.
I get nowhere at home.
I can't imagine. No, I mean, so what we put up here is, this is the layout of what the building's going to look like. Okay, so you can see on the lower portion is where the residential portion is going to be. And then on the north side, or the west side, excuse me, you can see where the laundromat is going to go. Just so you know, too, that while he's owned this property since 2023, he reached out to me about 9, 10, 12 months ago. And he, you know, we had some initial discussions about sort of expectations. And he came back, and I think he's met most of the expectations. The site itself is challenging again because of the parking. There used to be parking there. Well, you can't see it. I can see it on this screen. But where that grassy area is next to 41st Street, that all used to be street parking, right? Remember the parking lot used to go into the street there? And when we redid that neighborhood, we eliminated that, which created kind of more of an issue for the business, right? Not having that area there. Wow, look at that. That's pretty amazing.
That's pretty, yeah,
That was pretty cool.
good job, Gene.
Wow, technology is just so amazing. So I think the property's been owned by at least 3 or 4 different entities. And they all kind of come in and they all want to, I think this is the first guy in quite a while that actually has a plan. So we're pretty excited. Now he could let us all down, but we'll know we know where he lives. So do you. So I'm just kidding. That was okay. Does anyone else have any other questions? Register to speak for, against, or informational purposes concerning this item. Does anyone have any other questions? I'd entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
Motion to close.
By Alderperson Akers, second by Alderperson Bailey. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. All the comments here tonight will be placed in the record, probably in an abbreviated form, as will the written comments that were provided, the two of them. Does the council wish to take any action?
I'll make a motion to approve the resolution as well as the site landscaping plan with the modifications and the hours of operation that have been listed for this site.
Incorporating staff comments, good.
Yep,
Right?
definitely.
Okay, motion's made. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderperson Driswicki. Is there any discussion? I guess I get to call Alderperson Sarian.
Aye.
Alderperson Akers.
Aye.
Alderperson Kastner.
Aye.
Alderperson Driswicki.
Aye.
Alderperson Bailey.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. So it passed. We encourage you, since you do live across the street, if you ever have any questions or concerns with regard to what's going on, what's not going on, whatever, you should feel free to give us a call. While you don't live in Greenfield, you're close enough. Okay? Does that make sense? All right? Do you have more things to say? Because I think that public hearing's over, and I got,
I'm wondering when everything is going to start and when you're predicting that it's going to finish. What's the time?
We have to wait for the final approval, and then it has to go to the architecture for the stamping, and then it has to go for a second phase with the city of Greenfield. Everything is a process nowadays, so,
this was the big part. But there's still a lot of big parts after this, like actually getting it drawn up and stuff, right?
it has to be going through different processes with the city. I'm guessing if everything is lining nicely, probably by May, June, July, I just don't know, but something like that.
All right, very good. We're going to move along to the next public hearing. This is a special use permit for Valor Spine Solutions, a physician's office pertaining to intradiscal spine injections located at 6800 West Layton Avenue. Submitted by Andrew Gable, doing business as Valor Spine Solutions. This is to approve the resolution and the site plan review. This is in a brand-new building on 68th and Layton. Do you want to go through it?
Yeah, so Valor Spine Solutions is going to be operating within the same tenant space currently occupied by Greater Milwaukee Oral Surgery. Greater Milwaukee Oral Surgery isn't going anywhere. Valor Spine Solutions is going to be there on days and times when Greater Milwaukee Oral Surgery isn't there. So they're sharing the space. They will never be occupying the space at the exact same moment in time. So just want to make sure that everyone knows that Greater Milwaukee Oral Surgery isn't going anywhere. The property is zone PUD, so this is a special use. They will have 2 full-time employees, 2 part-time employees. Hours of operation will be 7:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday through Saturday, but they will only be in the space 2 days per week within that time frame. Parking requirement, 34 for the building, 24 provided. Common Council may waive the shortage. Plan Commission recommended approval in December. No letters of support or objection have been received to date.
Is there anyone that would like to speak for, against, or for informational purposes concerning this item? Is there anyone that would like to speak for, against, or informational purposes concerning this item? I don't think anyone showed up. I'd entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
Motion to close the public hearing.
Alderperson Akers, there a second? Second by Alderperson Serio. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion was unanimous. Are you writing this stuff down? He's actually writing this stuff. That's great. Because I was going to have to. Are you? You're doing a great job, Chris. All right. Does the council wish to take any action with regard to the resolution and the site plan review?
I'll make a motion to approve the resolution for the special use and the site plan review.
Motion by Alderperson Akers. There a second?
Second.
Second by Alderperson Bailey. I'll call Alderperson Sarian.
Aye.
Alderperson Akers.
Aye.
Alderperson Kastner.
Aye.
Alderperson Driswicki.
Aye.
Alderperson Bailey.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Going to the next public hearing. This is a special use permit for Touch of Egypt, a proposed massage business located at 5170 South 76th Street, Suite 107, submitted by Egyptia Robinson, doing business as Touch of Egypt. This is for the special use permit as well as a site plan review. This is in the My Salon building, which we've had a number of public hearings. All of the information is before you. This is just for one space within that Do you see the information before you, or do you want Gina to go through it all?
I'm good.
I can see it.
I'd entertain a motion to close the public hearing
Well,
with the
first you have to
information
ask
to be
somebody if
placed
they
in the
wanna-
record by Gina. Is there anyone that would like to speak for or against for informational purposes concerning this item? Is there anyone that would like to speak for or against for informational purposes concerning this item? Now I'll entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
I'll make a motion.
By Alderperson Akers, second by Alderperson Bailey, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries unanimously. I'd entertain a motion to approve the special use permit as well as the site plan review for the salon site.
I'll make a motion to
By
approve.
Alderperson Bailey, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderperson Akers, I'll call, I guess, Alderperson Sarian.
Aye.
Alderperson Akers.
Aye.
Alderperson Kastner.
Aye.
Alderperson Drzwicki.
Aye.
Alderperson Bailey. You're voting no? You voted no? Aye?
In my
Oh,
district, and it's a fine establishment.
It's a fine. Passes unanimously. Under old business, I have one member to be appointed to the library board. Her name is Melissa Mendoza, asked to leave before her term was up for personal reasons. The new appointment is Sarah Dunmeyer of 3515 South 51st Street. She's also the musical director for St. Francis School District. So I'd entertain a motion to confirm.
Motion to confirm.
By Alderperson Drzwicki.
Second.
Second by Alderperson Bailey, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. New business, a claim received from Victor and Nicole Pollock, which was referred to the city attorney, I believe. K2 is approve an application for 2024-2025 operator licenses received from, or presented by our city clerk, subject to all the disclaimers with regard to being current with everything, and entertain a motion to approve those applications.
Motion to approve said applications.
By Alderperson
Second.
Kastner, second by Alderperson Bailey, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Item 3 is approve an application for 2024-2025 secondhand pawnbroker article dealer license received from Q&A Games LLC for the property located at 6120 West Layton Avenue. This regards selling games and use, so.
I'll make a motion to approve the
Motion by
application.
Motion by Alderperson Akers, there's a second by Alderperson Bailey, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries unanimously. Items 4 and 5 are temporary Class B retailer licenses received from the Harley's owner group to sell malt beverages indoors on February 1st, 2025, as well as February 5th, 2025. Entertain a motion to approve those indoor licenses.
I think it's February 8th, not February 5th.
Did I say 5th? I'm sorry,
First
8th.
and the 8th.
First and 8th, right? Did I
Yes.
say 8th or 5th?
You said 5.
Did I?
Yes.
Yeah, dang it.
Getting old.
2025.
2025.
Motion to approve items.
By Alderperson Kastner, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderperson Drzwicki, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Item 6, I'm going to hold off for a while, put that at the bottom. No, I'm not, I'm just kidding. He's over there, he's patiently waiting. I said you could leave, but you wanted to stay anyway? Item 6 is approve a resolution for a special use review and site plan review for an ownership change to Deli Food Express, an existing gas station and convenience store located at 3900 South 92nd Street. Entertain a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
By Alderperson Kastner,
Second.
second by Alderperson Bailey. Would you, I'll call Alderperson Sarian,
Aye.
Alderperson Akers.
Aye.
Alderperson Kastner.
Aye.
Alderperson Drzwicki.
Aye.
Alderperson Bailey.
Aye.
Very good. Item 7 is approve an application for 2024-2025 Class A fermented malt beverage and Class A liquor cider only retailer's license for Malday Inc. For the property located at that same address. Entertain a motion to approve that application.
Motion to approve.
By Alderperson Kastner, second by Alderperson Bailey. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Item 8 is approve a temporary construction easement from tax key number 570-8998-008 at 8115 West Van Beck Avenue for a City of Greenfield stormwater connection to the City of Milwaukee storm sewer in West Van Beck. Entertain a motion to approve that temporary easement.
Motion to
By
approve that.
Alderperson Bailey, is
Second.
there second by Alderperson Akers? I'll call Alderperson Sarian.
Aye.
Alderperson Akers.
Aye.
Alderperson Kastner. Alderperson Driswicki.
Aye.
Alderperson Bailey.
Aye. It's going to help for flooding in that district.
Item 9 is approve an outdoor special event application for Carry the Loads National Relay to take place on the sidewalks throughout the city on May 7th. Entertain a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
By Alderperson Akers, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderperson Driswicki. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Item 10, discussion decision to apply for Milwaukee Department of Transportation special event permit for the House of Harley event to be located on 6221 West Layton Avenue from July 9th to July 14th. This includes the closing of Layton Avenue. There isn't any construction this year, but there will be in 2026, just so we all know that. So I'd entertain.
26, what's in 26? What's in 26? What's,
26 is probably the reconstruction, or I think the pretty substantial reconstruction of Layton Avenue between 60th and 68th. But this is for this year. They need to apply to the county, so I'd entertain a motion to approve that.
Motion to approve.
By Alderperson Driswicki, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderperson Sarian. Under discussion.
I always thought that we should look at keeping traffic open at least one way, each way, eastbound and westbound on the north side. I always thought that would be an option.
So, I mean, I think they did that for a couple of years, and it turned out, I think the police and fire departments both thought that it was less safe for the pedestrian traffic that's in the area and for the motorcycle traffic. I think that's what happened. Is that a fair statement? So there is an opportunity, I think, once they get their permit, or they apply for their permit, to kind of revisit that issue again. But everything that I remember about when they did it, it was worse than just keeping the cars out of the area as far as the safety at the event. That's what I would say. So,
At
okay.
least our bridges will be open this time.
The bridges will be open when is 92nd Street?
27.
Yeah, 27.
27.
27, is it? Okay. Okay, motion was made and seconded. I'll call. Alderperson Sarian?
Aye.
Alderperson Akers?
No.
Alderperson Kastner?
Aye.
Alderperson Driswicki?
Aye.
Alderperson Bailey?
No.
Motion carries 3-2. Items 11, 12, 13, 14, and 14 are all standard Finance Committee items. First relates to schedules of disbursements, second relates to mileage reimbursements, third relates to accepting investments and reinvestments, and the final one is accepting the November 2024 financial statements. I'd entertain a motion to approve items 11, 12, 13, and 14.
I move for approval.
Motion by Alderperson Sarian, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderperson Bailey. Roll call. Alderperson Sarian?
Aye. Aye.
Alderperson Akers?
Aye.
Alderperson Kastner?
Aye.
Alderperson Driswicki?
Aye.
Alderperson Bailey?
Aye.
Okay,
You want to do L before you go into closed session? Either way.
we can do that, sure. Item number L, is Pat LaSousa here, or anybody? No, he's not here. No. Are you here for something? I'm Andy Gable with Valentine. Oh, you're, okay, sorry. Yep, that's him, sorry, sorry. Okay, so we're gonna go to 11 before we go to the closed session item.
I mean L.
L, what did I say?
11.
I really need to get bifocals or something, like, but I really don't want to do it.
It's not so bad.
They're not bad.
It's horrible.
No, they're not.
It's like accepting death, kind of.
If that's your first obstacle, you're in trouble, Mike.
I'll probably fall because I won't be able to see or something. Okay, so we're going to start doing this, I think, by department. Every month, we're going to try to get a department head in and just kind of give a spiel with regard to how things are going, what they've been doing. Is that
Right.
a fair statement? So we have the city attorney here, who's getting paid by the hour to be here to do this. I just want,
That's why we're going first, right?
We'll keep it fast.
yeah, so.
Okay.
Don't take notes for this one.
Yeah, no, I've got my notes here. So since I am the guinea pig here, I'm not sure exactly what you guys wanted. So we had some pull together sort of a summary of what we've got, what we've been doing the last year. And I figure I'll just kind of run through sort of the highlights and then you can.
Definitely highlights, not too deep in details. 'cause
Yeah,
everyone
absolutely. I mean, we've worked on, let's see here, about 20 operator licenses. We've worked on, but I should clarify when I say we, I mean, I'm the named city attorney, but I've got two partners and an associate that we work with, and we all kind of handle our own little specialty. Rebecca's been involved in a lot of the PFAS litigation. Lane, I think you guys have worked with on some HR issues and some open record stuff. And then Tim, my partner Tim Pruitt, was involved with the health department consolidation. So we've all touched various things for Greenfield along the way. But aside from your sort of routine operator licensing, ordinances, things along those lines, we've reviewed ancillary agreements for the skateboard park, the TID 6, the Leighton Preserve, the Cobalt Project, a couple of TIDs that have been touched, numerous resolutions, ordinances, alcohol licensing. We had a dog issue we had to deal with actually about this time last year, a dog bite situation. We've dealt with some short-term rental ordinances, which actually we're in the process of revising. We did a relatively significant alcohol licensing revision that we discussed at committee level a couple times over the summer, and then it was felt there's actually a moratorium that's put in place, and then that's finally resolved. That was through the end of December that was put into place. Obviously, it was an election year, so there were a lot of election issues that popped up along the way, and I would say that Jennifer, and she's not here, so I can compliment her, she did an amazing job. I mean, you can tell she's been doing this for a while, and she knows what she's doing, because elections generally are difficult, and in this kind of climate where we're sort of looking for things to cause problems about, she handled it really well. So that's kind of, we've done some sex offender residency issues, we've done a few, again, the alcohol licensing we've touched on. I guess the other thing I would add is that while I'm here as kind of the city attorney, there are other attorneys that the city also has retained. You've got Debbie Chomchak, who's been involved in a couple of the major developments you guys have been working on. Joe Worth has handled kind of the litigation. And then Amy Seibel, who represents the city with respect to the assessment matter. Actually, assessment matters going back 3 or 4 years at this point. I did touch, I know you'd actually, Alderman Bailey had actually asked specifically for an update on where things stand with the special assessment litigation. So I touched base with Amy last week. There's actually a trial that's coming up next month. So they finished, all their experts have now been called. I think they're wrapping up depots, I think either this week or next week. And then as of right now, they're set for trial next month, and she expects it to go. She's pretty confident going into it.
That's Walmart.
That's the Walmart case, yep. Yep, and they've challenged every year. The one that's actually set for trial, I think, goes through the last couple of years, and then 23 and 24 are coming up behind. Obviously, depending on how things shake out with the earlier case, I think the hope is that maybe they will choose to proceed differently with respect to the ones that are still pending. But she said they've actually been litigating. Amy represents communities around the state, and they've been litigating. Walmart's been very aggressive, but they haven't been winning, frankly. So their defense that they were relying on was actually pretty much gutted by the Supreme Court a couple of years ago, and they just haven't kind of recognized that yet. So they're still fighting, but she's pretty confident that we've got a strong case here, so hopefully that'll have a good ending. So that's kind of a very broad brush kind of overview. Any specific questions I can try to answer, or I'd say otherwise, just if you have any questions during the course of the year, certainly just give me a call, and we're pretty flexible. We're pretty available, so.
So how's it going with you being here?
It's
in
going well.
Greenfield?
I think it's been, I'm keeping busy. I'm
Is
keeping
there
busy.
anything that we can do to make your job easier with us?
Don't call you?
I think it's actually, depends on the week. Sometimes that would be helpful. But no, it's been, I think it's been going pretty well, actually. And I hope everything, obviously, I hope is going well for the city as well. But it seems like it's working pretty well, and we are a pretty small outfit. But it's helped that we have other people that have touched different things, and we can kind of, if one of us gets overwhelmed, we can kind of hand something off to somebody else, or maybe somebody's touched something more recently than somebody else has, so we can kind of handle it that way. And I think it's working pretty well so far.
I would just speak internally that the responsiveness has been wonderful. So I think almost every single staff person within City Hall has given Chris a call about something or another, whether it's a zoning issue or an easement issue.
Jeff and
Yeah.
Gina are nodding their head.
I'm sure
in
Jeff,
agreement.
I'm
today,
sure
actually,
that,
yeah. Yep.
I'm sure that Paula,
Mhm.
Tim,
Jennifer?
Lisa,
Yep.
Jennifer, Gina, Jeff, Scott,
Fire department, PD, yep.
Fire Department and PD, when it comes to all those, have called. They're always responsive. It's never, well, we'll get to that, and sometimes it never gets to that. I couldn't be more happy with our outside counsel. Of course, they aren't our only outside counsel when it comes. So legal representation is often can't use the word specialized. The rules of professional responsibility prevent that. But there are certain areas of concentration. Their knowledge of municipal law, which is the stuff that we run into on a day in, day out kind of basis, is spectacular. Our employment law stuff is generally hired by Von Briesen, Ryan, and Kyle, who I think are recognized statewide as a couple of the best. Absolutely. Our dark store stuff and our assessment stuff, Amy Seibel, I think is in an elevated role, is probably the most knowledgeable person on those issues in the entire state. I just got something from the Milwaukee Bar Association inviting me to a dark store discussion somewhere, and Amy was one of the featured speakers. So when it comes to like when we get sued kind of stuff, that's usually Crivello Carlson, and I think Sam Hall is the attorney there. They're typically paid for by our insurance company. We've had some issues related to public safety and liability and those kinds of things, and they have been nothing short of spectacular in that regard, defending us. And then finally, Deb Tomczyk of Reinhardt has been instrumental helping us with the TIFs and the economic development stuff. Usually her fees are paid for by developers, when all this, generally speaking, or the TIF.
The female Bruce Block.
It's the female Bruce Block, yeah. I mean, I think she's recognized within the community as being one of the best, if not, well, I don't want to say the best, but one of the best. And there are only a select few that are as good. So I feel comfortable and happy that the city invests in good legal representation. Sort of as a lawyer, it's kind of like people think, well, I can go to that dentist, and he'll do my cavity for $80 and that one's $400, right? Usually you get what you pay for, and usually the guy that's doing it, say, for $80, it's going to take him 4 times as long, and he's probably going to screw it up, and you're going to probably have to go back. Whereas if you invest in the good person, the most competent person to do it right the first time, it usually ends up saving you money in the long run. I'm always intrigued by other communities that are doing requests for proposals for attorneys, like, let's send out a request for proposals to see which attorney we can get cheapest. That's not what you want to do with this. It's just like you wouldn't do a request for proposal to have spinal surgery or heart surgery. I think you'd probably, while you're laying it, before you lay on that table, you're going to want to make sure that you hire the best person that's going
Or
to
it's
get you
covered
through it.
in your insurance.
Hmm?
Or it's covered by your insurance.
Yeah, fortunately, there's good insurance in the city right now, and most of the major groups are covered. But I'm really, it's been great, so.
I want to thank Chris for coming in on a cold night and giving us an update. I appreciate it. Absolutely.
And taking notes. And for taking notes.
And for taking notes. I can't read him, though.
That's
He
the
looks
amateur
like a
I can read.
physician.
We'll see.
You should see this stuff. It's just
pretty
like,
bad.
it's like chicken scratch,
Pretty
so.
bad.
He's not a physician.
Okay, so.
Doctor of laws.
Doctor of Law. Yeah, he's a doctor. You should call him Dr. Chris. All right, so going back to 15, this is a closed session item. The common council go in closed session pursuant to Wisconsin statutes 19.85, parent 1, parent little g, to confer with legal counsel regarding notice of circumstances filed by F. Patrick LaSousse and Mary H. Payne. Entertain a motion to go into public or into closed session.
Motion to go in close.
By Alderperson Akers, second by Alderperson Bailey. I'll call Alderperson Sarian.
Aye.
Alderperson Akers.
Aye.
Alderperson Kastner.
Aye.
Alderperson Drzwicki.
Aye.
Alderperson Bailey.
Aye.
We are now in closed session. If you could turn off your little green lights.